And please, with a standing ovation, let's receive Samson Olatunde at Unscripted Live at the Harvest World Church.
And so, without taking much of our time, let me just allow the speaker to give us a brief overview on the subject matter before we now go into the Q&A session. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I want to say a big thank you to Pastor. Please, can we just celebrate the set man and the wife? Thank you so much for hosting me. It's a great joy to be here. I think this will be my second time in this church. I came first time as a visitor in one of the Unscripted. I just walked in. I think as one of my friends that was invited, so I wanted to just come learn. And I'm privileged that I'm the one sharing today. It's a great joy, and I want to say a big thank you. I count this a rare privilege for me to share. And I'm happy also that I have someone that I've seen her work on the internet, and then I'm privileged to meet her and to see that she's in this church. Please also help me celebrate Just eBay. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be very quick, and I'm going to just start this conversation by just giving you some certain statistics. I think that will work more to trigger some emotions within this room and everyone watching us on the internet. It's always been said that if you want to write something from a black man, put it in a book, because he will never have time to see the details of what the person can do or learn from within the book. But I think that the narrative is beginning to change, because what has helped many of us is because we may not be able to have some access to some people, but their materials has really done a lot for us. So I'm going to use this to really help us, because I'm talking to young people and so many people who are business professionals, or you're working in a particular organization. Now, you must understand that to have a successful business on the internet, it takes you to have 40% common sense, 40% common sense, 20% of your spirituality, and most importantly, 40% of the knowledge of the business you want to get into. So which means that there's a path of God that is required, which is critical for you as a Christian. And then there's a 40% common sense that is very important, because if you are not wise, the internet will teach you how to be wise. If you're careless about your password, your access code, and all of that, then you'll burn your finger. But most importantly, you need to have an idea, deep idea, which is 40% about the knowledge of the business. Now, once you understand these statistics, it means that you must begin to look at why you want to get into the marketplace. Because I've been asked to talk about profiting from tech business in Nigeria. Do you know that over 162 million plus GSM lines are in Nigeria currently? And that the potential and the usage of the people is extremely high. How do I know? It's statistics you have on the internet. So over 92.3 Nigerians are active on digital space. 92.3 Nigerians are active on digital space. And that means that your business needs to be on that platform if you have the larger percentage of people in this country, let's say half of them, on the internet. There are over 1.8 billion people between the age bracket of 10 to 24 years. Over 1.8 billion people between the age of 10 to 24. And it's discovered that they are the largest generation of youth in the history. Close to 90% of these people live in a developing country. Lives in a developing country like Nigeria, Togo, Ghana, Rwanda. This is a developing country. It means that these 1.8 billion people in the world, 10 to 24 years within that age bracket, fall within the 90% of the people living in developing country. And then they make up the largest portion of the population. This number is expected to grow between 2015 and 2030 alone. And it means that 1.9 billion young people are projected to turn 15 years. That means that my market is focused, or should be thinking about me focusing on my market on the millennials because these are the age bracket of people who are consuming data, consuming information, and they are the people that you have more on the internet. So which means that you must look at a way of profiting from these people by creating solution, adding value, and understanding the market. And that's why I said you need 40% common sense, 40% of the kind of business you want to get into, and most importantly, 20%. And that's why I started by giving you that idea in doing business on the internet, because that's how you can enjoy the profit in multiple folds that you want. I close by saying that that it's very important for you to take your business into this global space, because the internet is just like a marketplace. Just like you have a normal local market, Oshodi market, Lagos market, this is a marketplace where you have three sets of people: the buyers, the sellers, and then you have people that we call the scammers or the hackers. So you must position yourself to be a buyer and to be a seller. Now, once you have things running for you on the internet, you have a forum, you have a social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, it means that you are positioned to be a seller. You have a website, you have a blog, you are a seller. That means you need to begin to understand that you having the knowledge of what you want to sell is critical, and the people that need your service, it's critical for you to navigate and locate them where they are on the internet. So which means that once you position yourself to be a seller by having any of those platforms, then you also need to sell and determine to be a buyer. Who is a buyer? You get on the internet with the intention of learning. You get on the internet with the intention of buying something that may be valuable to you on the internet. So if you think that 10 to 24 years within the age bracket, within this statistics I've given to you, looks more reasonable, and then just imagine you selling a product of as low as 5,000 naira, and then in a year, just say you want to target one person per day, 365, and then multiply by 5,000, it means that you should be able to become a millionaire. Let's even say that you don't really understand what you want to sell. Look at your gifting. Look at what you have potential of, what God has deposited in your life. Do you know that a gift, a talent, is equivalent to $12,000? And if you multiply it, it means that it's equivalent to 17 kilogram, 35 kilogram, that is 17 weight of what it takes for you to become a millionaire. Now, just try to multiply that by $500 rate. It means that a talent or a gift is equivalent to $1 million, which means that what you carry inside of you automatically makes you a millionaire. But you can be very knowledgeable about something and extremely poor if you don't understand the business side of that talent. I think I'm going to stop on this note.
It's like tons and tons of data information for us to run with. You know, please, one more appreciation for him. You know, while we were reading that information, my mind was just going through to say, look, this is so much information, you know, and one of the ways I want to summarize, when he said that part of God, I don't know how many of us understand the Pareto's theory, 80-20 rule. You know, you can see, I'm sure that's what he's trying to allude to. The 20% thing that you do that gives you the 80% of what you are looking for. You know, so that's what God does. You give you apply your Pareto's theory, and you see that working for you. The truth is that we can never, you know, overstate what the digital space. You know, I used to tell someone, I think it was sometime last week, I was discussing with someone, and I said the most powerful people in the world are the Mark Zuckerbergs of this world. You know why? Not probably because of the amount of wealth at their disposal, but because of the way they are more powerful than the President of the United States. How many of us remember that even the all-powerful former President of the US was, you know, banned from Facebook? Who dare bans the President of the United States? Who has such power? You can see how powerful they are. They can influence, as a matter of fact, they influence almost, if this demography that he's talking about, the youthful ones, they influence you more than any other demography. So you can see how powerful they are. So that's how powerful and influential the digital or the tech space, as it's called, is. So I just want to ask some quick questions. You've reeled out all this data. Looking at this data, someone, like my mind is going, will be wondering, okay, so with all this now, what happens? How can I leverage? Because that's one of the big challenge. People hear all manner of, they see all these things. Even I'm sure they've seen it on internet, but they don't know how to go to navigate through it. So, and one thing that it's very, very, what we do at Unscripted is that we make things simple. You mentioned the part of common sense. I used to tell people that common sense is not common practice. That's the reality. Otherwise, a lot of things will not go wrong. So can you, delve more, if you have any practical example you can use. So say, okay, this data, how can, they take advantage of this, all this information and data, to leverage on the tech space? How can they?
So I think to make it easier, so if you have an idea of what is happening in any marketplace you want to get into, then the next question you need to ask yourself is, how do I profit from it? Because the whole idea of this session is for you to understand how to profit from the internet. So first is to discover what product you want to sell. And then you can discover the product you want to sell until you make do with information that you have. So who are my target audience? My target audience determines the kind of product I'm going to package or put together or service I want to render to these people. So you have to first get on the internet, go on Google Trend, look at what people are looking for on the internet, look at what the searches is talking about, what are the majority of the keywords that is critical in your own sector. So let's assume that I want to sell materials around consulting, and I go on the internet, which is Google, #1 search engine in the world. I go on Google and I type in the keywords of what people are looking for. Now it will pop up and give me a lot of information. So you can use what we call Google Trend. Google Trend gives you all of the trends of what is happening, some of the information you need to know and all of that. And then that gives you an idea to know what exactly people are searching for, the kind of keywords, the kind of information, the kind of solutions that they want, right? And then you come back and then create your own product. So I started business 22 years old. I think I was more privileged. I got into school, JAMB did not jam me too much. I did JAMB once, I got the ones, I got access into university, but I saw population. And the next question was, what will I sell to these people? What do I have? I can only teach people. And then over time, people have told me you can teach people to understand. And the next question for me was, what will I teach these people? In my class, we had over 5,000 people in my faculty. And so I saw a crowd, tasty, eager, willing to consume anything. And I said to myself, what can I teach these people? I needed to look deep within myself to realize that I could teach people how to use the system. And then I needed to connect what would be my unique selling point. My unique selling point would be, if you're a graduate, you don't know how to use the system, you may not be gainfully employed. That was my selling point. And I was going from one final year student fellowship to another to tell them, you may be a graduate, but even though you call this a favor market, you may not be gainfully employed if you don't know how to use the system. And then that gave me an access of people coming to me to say, can you do my project? Can you make research? And then I realized that, oh, this is demand for me. So it means that getting on the internet, you're going to see a lot of people searching for critical things. And then you come back to yourself to ask, what do I have, or how do I package it? And then how do you quickly do that? It's simple. On the internet, it's been there. It cannot go off. It's going to be there for life till Jesus will come. There's what we call private label right. And I think that's the simplest way by which you can start a business. I mean, I've made money over and over. I've taught people, they have made money over and over. And the reality is that if I explain this to you now, and you get into work, in 30 days, you should be able to make your first money on the internet. Now, there's what we call private label right. There are materials that you have 100% right to. Freelancers are people that do a lot of work, and they want to sell those work. So many works are on the internet on different industry, from consulting to farming to media to housing, whatever, to agri. So you go on Google and type in private labor rights with a plus sign on your industry. Now you will see a lot of free resources. In fact, let me give you 3 websites. You have pdfdrive.net. pdfdrive.net has over 200 free materials on that platform. If you have access to it, you know what to do to sell to people on the internet or offline, you're going to make a lot of money. I mean, my first 4 books was written without me writing, lifting finger. I only got access to a private laborer material, because once you have access to it, you get the access to that material. You see the license that says you can do anything to it. You can go ahead and make money by selling the book. Now, let me bust a bubble. Have you heard about this title, Think and Grow Rich, right? Acres of Diamond, As a Man Thinketh. If you pick that same material, the law says you must not change anything from that material. But if you pick that material and you go to your printer, and you give your printer to publish Think and Grow Rich, and you go to the marketplace where you have people that are thirsty for knowledge, for every time you sell that product, you keep the 100%, because the law says that that book is in the public domain, and anyone who picks that material have access to sell that material the way it is by just publishing it or selling it the soft copy, and you keep the profit 100%. It means that because I have the knowledge, remember I said 40% knowledge, right? Because I have this knowledge, I understand that I need to look for people that wants to consume that product and see how I can promote that product to them in exchange for the value, which is the money, and they have access to the material. So private labor rights gives you access, 100% access to pick any material in any industry. You can change the topic, you can change the cover, you can do anything to it, you can break it down in forms of different ways, but you have materials already researched, already done by experts. You pay a token, maybe $5 for like 10 books, 5 books on the internet, and then you come back and we work on those material based on your target audience. And if you go secure ISBN number to that material, it becomes your own copyright. Why? You have researched for those material. You have bought like 10 books on consulting. You've come back to sit and we work on it based on the people you want to target on the internet. And then you go back and sell it in your own name, your own brand, your own cover, and then you begin to make money from it. That's how I made my first $10,000 on the internet. By just selling materials that I didn't create, but got the information through what we call Success Digest. And that's what is still available till date. It's over 10 years that I've made that money. It's still relevant, it's still key. As I'm talking to you, if you go on Google, you still have those material, and that's how you can start up. Just search for Hungry Market.
I know what else you're waiting for. I think you should just appreciate our speaker tonight. He has done what is not common in Africa. You know, in Africa, when you see something that is working, you now go and you cover the thing very well, you know. But you know, because he has a renewed mind, can we just celebrate him much better? And interestingly, I can see that none of us, we are not writing anything. I don't know if we are not getting it. He said he made his first 10,000. Who has the calculator there? Can you just calculate, let's just say 500 times 10,000 and let us know the figure. You know, please, thank you very much. You know, this is serious mind-boggling. You know, even me, I'm recording it for your information. For your information. That's so practical, and you can only get that at Unscripted. Like we do at Unscripted, you can ask questions. Just ask any of our officials so that you can ask your question. That's why we say it's interactive. On the social platforms, wherever you're watching us from, some questions have already dropped in. Let me just take this one before I ask my own. So during the lockdown, apart from the food and beverage businesses, it was the technological-driven businesses that made a big cash from the economy. Can you tell us why this was so? Can you just shed more light on that for us?
Okay, so it's just unfortunate for us in this part of the world, especially in Nigeria, that we don't understand that the internet has been there. It's just that the pandemic opened our eyes to so many things. Many businesses was done locally. People were doing meetings in their office. They were even thinking about what is happening in the world. And that's why I always tell people, never think like a Nigerian. You are in Nigeria, but think globally. Think beyond where you are. Things are really happening. I mean, if you go to Rwanda alone or you try to make statistics about what is happening in Rwanda, I'm going to tell you that you're going to change your mindset about how you see things. So stop talking about the government. The government is not even seeing you. Stop talking about the problem. Look at the solution. Create a solution. See how you can make much more money. We have population here. Why are people still coming to this country with what is happening to us? Because we have people. So how do you leverage on those people is what is critical. And what has just happened during the pandemic period was that it made many of us in Nigeria realize that it's time for you to take your business to another level globally. It's been there. Internet has been there. I mean, look at, I've been doing it for 10 years. It's my 13 years of doing it. So I understand that I'm in Nigeria, but I don't do business basically in Nigeria. I just have to focus what I'm doing on the internet. I have people in Ghana that are my customer. I have people in Rwanda. All I want is that I can't be stuck by whatever policy is happening, because I need to realize that I can do business globally. So what you need to begin to think about is that local business, that's your idea. There are millions or billions of people that need that same idea in form of product and services on the internet. And you have to begin to look for where they are. Now, just let me give you a very simple statistics. And I'm going to be, I try to be a little bit more practical because people make this internet look a little bit complex, right? So do you know that Zoom has been existing for years, right? How come the turnover of Zoom jacked up? Was because meeting moved from normal physical and then people moved to whatever. Zoom has been there. Now, what happens to internet access? The internet company made a lot of money because everybody moved migration from offline and people started having access to say, I want to do so many things on the internet just because there was a force that could not be controlled and moved everybody's mindset. Now, companies don't want to come back to the norm. They prefer that you work more from home, because even working more from home, they give you more job, they reduce their turnover, they reduce spending on diesel, on cleaners, on this, and then you are still delivering the job. What just happened was a mind shift that should have happened that many people were not seeing, but pandemic pushed us to realize that. So the reality is that the internet has been there, Zoom has been there, access to internet connection has been there. It's just that we are still thinking like a Nigerian in Nigeria, but we need to begin to think globally and still remain probably wherever you are. And I tell people, it's good to travel out of the country, but you can still be poor if you don't understand how to leverage on that market you are going to go meet there, if you don't have some certain skill set, or how you can turn that idea into business to begin to make money. Now, do you know that there are a lot of professors that are extremely poor in Nigeria? You know what it takes to become a professor? It means that you have some level of knowledge, but there are still a lot of professors, and I don't want to mention them, they are still wallowing in poverty. It means that it's not about just having the knowledge, but understanding the application of how that knowledge can turn to cash for you. And there was a quote I said 2 days ago. I said, know plus edge gives you the word knowledge. What you know gives you an edge. But what makes you more profitable is how you translate what you know into a working document of a product and services into a very saturated market or hungry market to begin to make profit for yourself, which is the money you're looking for. So there's money everywhere. It's just for you to realize that you need to turn that skill set of what you have into money. So for that question that says, how come fintech became huge and making more money, it's just simple. Because the language people needed to understand at that moment was the fact that you need to take your business online. And then for all of us that have already positioned ourselves, it was not a big deal for us. We were just making more money because it was something we realized that one day they will come and meet us here. And then it was that period of the pandemic that they came to us and we were able to eat them hard and make a lot of money. Do you know that some certain CEOs of multinationals don't have profile? If you check their name, you don't see something that relates about what they are doing. They never imagined that there will be time that they will be rejected in the embassy just because they don't have some certain information that clarifies that what they are doing in the terms of the billion turnover is not reflecting in what they are saying they are on the internet. And then they are running to you to say, you know what, I just got rejected. I was trying to convince them they're going to see any information about me. So how do you put all the things I've done locally to bring it online? That is the power of the internet. You can strike the deal once you have anything that you're doing and it's well narrated, well structured, content value, on the internet. And the question to you this afternoon or evening is that if you put your name on Google, what comes out? Just put your name. Just try to put my name. You will see that everything about me talks about who I am, and it's easier for me to just sell myself anywhere I get to. In fact, all my books are on Konga, Amazon, Jumia, Okada books. So I don't need to carry books to any country. All I have to do is to get them the link, and then people start buying. How can you ensure that you have speed of money coming to you without you sweating, but you are using the internet effectively?
I think you can do better. Powerful insight this evening. I would summarize to say that he saw the future early and his mind was renewed early. So someone here, maybe you are still locked down in the old method of doing things. I trust that your mind will be renewed this evening in Jesus' name. I can't hear any amen. The truth is that it's God that will help you to renew that mind. So I think I need a better amen this evening. All right. Thank you so much. I think this has been a very eye-popping, eye-opening session, not only for them, but I think for me too. I thought I knew some things, but I think I'm getting to know more. In all this, because again, there's this big question. Why I'm asking this question that looks so elementary is because I know someone who has been acting consulting, business consulting, process management, and all that. People are still bogged down with, how do I move from A to B? When I mean from A to B, how do I even come up with the idea? How do I, because there are some things that you do that stimulates this kind of thing. I know, taking from your experience, I was reading through your profile. I don't know how many. You say you wanted to reach 1 million entrepreneurs. How many have you reached?
1 million. I think we're close to 250 now. 250.
Okay, so there's still work to be done.
A lot of work. It's just within 4 years.
But it's a tall one.
It's a
tall
one.
order, and I trust that you fulfill and even set higher ones. So how do one? Because I know you interact with all manner of entrepreneurs. So because what triggers the idea is just something from the mundane to the known. So can you share what can help someone trigger that idea? What will make them know, okay, this is my passion and this is what I now need to dwell on to take to the next level. I don't know if my question is clear.
Yes. So what I would say to as many people is, I think it's very important that you derive or you kick off your business from what you love to do. So I'm a teacher. If I don't make money today, I don't make money in 1 week, I don't make money in 1 month, I keep doing my research, it's something I love to do. So it means that in as much as I need the money, I'm not money driven, I'm impact driven. The moment I'm able to impact you and you like what I'm doing, you have the potential of giving me 7 customers. So what you need to understand is kick off from what you love to do. What can you do? Do you do at ease without you struggling with it? And then begin to train yourself around it, develop more skill set around it, and then take it online. So if I'm going to answer that question, you want to move from point A to Z in starting off is once you discover what you love to do, or you discover the opportunities that you think that is going to be more valuable to you, and you know that you have the knowledge of doing it, set up a website for yourself. See, before they used to tell us what makes it successful, and that's the notion that we had 5 years or 10 years back, that what determines a successful person in Nigeria is that your number of staff, your office, what your turnover, and all of that. But forget office now, forget whatever. Your online office is your website. So everything you want people to know about you, Q&A, on my site, I will ask the question, I will answer the question. I just want it to be simple enough. You get on the website, olatundesamson.com or td.olatundesamson.com. You just go on my website. Every question that may want to come to your mind about what I'm doing, I have asked the question, I have answered the question, and I've put it on a segment that says Q&A on my website. So everything you want people to know about that idea, that business you're doing, put it together on a website. But I will say to you, don't use a free website. Because if you use a blogger.com or a wordpress.com, a free website, you can start from that. People tell me, oh, let them start from there. I say, no, don't undermine the power of people that will do business with you. So start in a very professional way. As little as 25,000 naira, you can get a website, a blog running for you. Let it be like a blog. You can always develop, you can always advance in it. But have something that has all your information. Number 2, create a social media platform, account. If you know you have an account and then all you do is abuse people, talk about what people do, all sorts of things, it means that that platform, just leave it and continue that, your attitude there. But you cannot change it and twist it and say you don't want to align it with your business. So some certain people already know that this guy or this lady, we always talk about this kind of thing, so I'm not interested. So what you need to do is create a new account and then let the account be the same name. So I have Sam Speaks Now. All platforms, Sam Speaks Now is my social media handle. And I have www.olatundesamson.com. Aside my company is different from me. I'm talking about me now making money for myself based on my talent of teaching people, right? So once you create that website, now make different offers available to people on your website. And then why are you creating social media platform? Because that's where you have the people. So take that offer and do promotion, but target the promotion to bring people on your website to see where exactly you want them to land, where exactly you want them to see whatever you're talking about, and then ensure that everything they need to know, they need to read about, they need to understand, and how they need to pay is on that one page or that particular page on your blog. Now, do more of explanation by teaching people more about what you know how to do. I tell people, teach as much you can teach, because the more you can teach people, the more they are going to come back to you. Let me tell you something. People can only grab 15%. Everything I'm talking to you about now, you can only grab 15% of it. For you to be able to develop, to grab more things, you have to go back and listen and watch this video over again. Which means there's no amount of information I give you. If you need me as a consultant, you still have to burst me and come back to me, and then I will still make that money based on the information I've shared with you. So all you have to do is share more information so that you can have what we call viral content that goes on the internet. Because the moment you are sharing valuable content, there's what we call a web crawler. Web crawler look for information that relate to people creating solutions or talking about things that relate to things around different industry. And then your name, whatever you're doing, information you're teaching out begins to come out more. And then before you know what is happening, people know about who you are or what you're selling or what you're doing on the internet. So write as much as you can write. If you're not a good writer, get somebody to write about what you're doing and put it more on your blog. The more you update that platform and you go on social media to do little promotions as low as 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, the more you have people subscribing to what you're doing. And then let me simplify it. How do you know people are interested in what you're doing? I have an idea. I'm into farming and I want to sell foodstuffs, right? And I want to go on social media. How do I know that people will need this? Put together like a 10-page report. Let it be absolutely free. But nobody can download that report until they submit their information. So go on social media, do promotions that you're giving this offer for free. But people will come in their multitudes to your website. Only people that opt in, people that sign up, putting their information to want to get that copy of that report are your potential customer. Which means if you have maybe from the traffic, 1 million people, 500,000 people come to your website and only 100 people sign up, those 100 people, if you follow them up, you are going to make sales from all those 100 people, because that's your real customer and your potential customer that can give you the first sales that you are looking out for. So I've just explained it. From your idea, set up a website or a blog. Once you set up your social media platform, go ahead and do your first promotion by designing something, and then go ahead and give something valuable for free just to attract people's information. We call it list building, and from those lists begin to convert them into sales.
We just appreciate Mr. Samson this evening. is really rolling out. That's what we do at Unscripted. We remove all the barriers. So I just want to take one more step because we are already getting to the point of closure. Like I said earlier, if you have any question and you are here, you can just, I will give opportunity, just 1 minute for somebody to ask a live question. If you have a live question, you feel we have not covered it. But to go further, Mr. Samson, can you just mention a few of all these businesses, that are in the tech space that an average Nigerian can enter into without little or no barrier? Because again, that's just the model of Unscripted. We tell you, then as much as possible, we want you to leave here tonight and come back. We have massive testimonies of people who have just gone from here. I think the lady, I think she opened a blog and she came back to say, I made my dollars and I'm here. When you tell somebody on the street of Lagos that you can be here and be making dollars, they will tell you it's only 419. But I tell you, you've heard from him. His first $10,000. I don't know if you have not done the addition.
It's just like 4 million.
Okay, you said like 4 million.
Yes.
You don't want to know what 4 million will do in a country like Nigeria. Anyway, that's a subject of discussion for another day. Just give us, as practical as possible, remove all the walls.
Okay.
The kind of businesses that people can just walk into as they are living here tonight. They can walk into it and say, okay, I came to Unscripted. The next day, I've hit the road running.
I think number one is information marketing. And what's information marketing? Putting what you know together in form of products and services and selling to people on the internet. You know how to cook. Do a YouTube about it. Do a webinar about it. Put it into an ebook. Have you seen books that has recipe before? Have you seen something like that? Ebooks. People pay for it. So create a product or service around what you know how to do. What you have spent money on in acquiring from education, experience, and exposure, right? Put it together and go on the internet to sell to people. You'll be shocked that people just need a guide on how to do some certain things. So let it be a guide, a simple step-by-step method of how people can do things. So it's called information marketing. Like I told you, private label rights is another aspect of information marketing. You get access to valuable information, you put those materials together, you sell them in bulk or sell them one after another, and you go on the internet to sell to people. It means that those products, ebooks you have downloaded are valuable information that people need, and then you go on the internet to look for who is hungry to get access to those material for exchange of the money you want to sell. That's information marketing. And you can start with nothing. I've just given you a website, whitedovebooks.co.uk. You are a motivational speaker. You have over 200 books on whitedovebooks.co.uk, absolutely free to download. So you can see anything motivation. I'm on that book. I've given you pdfdrive.net, right? plrdownloads.com. You have access to a lot of PLR materials you can download in different sectors. So that can help you start what we call information marketing. You can make it in form of a video, you can do a broadcast, you can do ebook. Once you get the material, pieces the material in a way that you can do a YouTube video, give some for free and tell people to get into your membership website, and then you make money from it. It's simply called information marketing business. Number two, you can do what we call domain and web hosting business. For you to have your website run on the internet, you must secure a unique domain name. www.olatundesamson.com is an example of a domain. That name, I renew it every year. Google.com, the company renew every year. Yahoo.com, they have to renew with the company every year. It's a business. And then where you are going to see all your designs, if you get on the website, you are seeing everything you're seeing, that space is rented out. Every year they have to renew. So it's called web hosting. So one of the business you can think of is that you could become a middleman. You become a reseller of web and domain and web hosting space, right? And it's just like you're doing real estate. You buy land in acres, and then you're selling in one plot, half plot to people. So I call it a real estate business on the internet called domain and web hosting business. With as low as 25,000 naira, go to Go to bluehost.com. With as low as 25,000 naira, you can start that business. Go to wogohost.com. Wogohost in Nigeria here, you can become a reseller. What will you do? Look for people that want to take their business online, but they need to create a domain name and web hosting space. So you create a website or a design and say, I can host your domain and web hosting space for as low as this. Remember that you must have bought a reseller package, right? Maybe your reseller package is 10 gig. It means that you are selling 1 gig. 10 gig can be like 10,000 naira. So you can say 1 gig you sell at 5,000 naira. It means that you have bought a 10 gig box space, right? But you're not selling 1 gig for 5,000 naira. So if you sell 1 gig in 10 places, 5,000 naira or 5,000 naira times 10 will become your profit. So it means that you have made profit of 40,000 naira because you paid 10,000 naira to buy what we call a bulk 10 gig. So what you do is that you become a reseller, you buy from the source, and you begin to sell in smaller quantity. And every year is a residual income for me. I mean, I don't like talking about figures, but for over 7 years, I've been doing web hosting business. Every company I talk to, and they are using the website, automatically they are going to renew. Their emails are on the platform, they have business card, their website is going online. I mean, the lot of updating is going there. So every year, because they want to maintain that information, they keep giving me a renewal fee. So which means you can make a residual income. You can be sure of how much you will make every year. Because you buy in bulk, and the moment you sell to somebody and the person using the website, the person keeps coming back to you to renew that particular website. So it's called a domain and web hosting business. Number 3, you can be a freelancer. So you go to freelance.com. I think I'm going to stop at that point. So a freelancer is somebody who is rendering services. You're a web designer, video editor, video record, you record video, you are a writer, you are a broadcaster, whatever service you are rendering, right? You have a website, and that website is called Freelancers. You have a lot of them. I'm just using freelancers as an example. Once you go on that website, you create a page for yourself. You upload your profile. You upload links of some of the jobs you have done. And then you do a profiling of yourself and you put on that platform. There are going to be jobs, bidding jobs that you can go and bid for. Make sure you have a payment system like Paystack, like Flutterwaves. It makes it easier for you now. InterSwitch was giving us problem before, but thank God for Paystack and Flutterwaves. Which means that you can integrate a payment gateway, how people will pay you. And at the moment they pay you, you have already on your site that page, because they will give you free page that you can open. So on that page, on that website, you can bid for job, and then you can even extend it, have your own website, put services you are rendering, go and do promotions, and so people can come to you and do business with you. So if you are a freelancer and then you render any of these services, you proofread, you're a writer, you're an editor, you're a programmer, you do app, you have a lot of potential of making money on the internet by going to bid for job. It means that what you're doing, you're called a freelancer, and then you go on those platforms to bid for job, and then you deliver appropriately as people pay you on the internet.
I can't say the thank you enough. Please can we just appreciate our speaker, and as we bring this to a wrap, nobody is waving their hands, so I'll just move on. As we bring it to a wrap, in just 1 minute, I know that you are loaded. Yes, we can be like this, and time will just keep going. So, but we have to call it a wrap at some point. So, what do you see as the future for Africa, especially for Nigeria and the tech space? What do you see in 1 minute? Then we'll now come back to do the proper wrap up to give you an overview about, because this is your second time at Unscripted. So give us your overview, what we call the parting shot, what you say of.
So for me, I think that there's a lot of potential. We are just scratching in Nigeria, in Africa. We are just scratching the surface about the huge potential in the digital space. And I give you like 2-3 case study. Now, you know that people like Funke Akindele are making a lot of money they can never make in their country, Nigeria, just with Netflix. Are you aware of that? But they didn't create the platform of Netflix. they only took their video. And that video was supposed to be on a CD. How many people are buying CD now? They only took that video. How many people will go to the cinema to go watch? All they did was to pick that information, that movie, and they went to do a partnership with an existing platform. Amazon does not, on Amazon does not have products. They only get people's products. They only have platforms. Have you heard about Uber? Uber only has a platform. Connect the driver or the car owners to the end users. For every trip, they make commission. Right? These are things that we can see. These are things that we use. These are money that is flowing on a daily basis in different sectors. So you have to really look at yourself and see how much. Look at Flutter Waves. Look at the ton. Flutter Waves needs people now. Needs people that are skillful, but they cannot see the right set of people. No skill set that can fit in people to make money. The money is there, but they need people to come in, and then they are now beginning to hire and thinking of people they can hire from different African countries. Just because we have many graduates that are not employable without having the skill set of taking advantage of the opportunities that we have. So all I have to say in closing is go develop yourself. Do everything you can to make sure that you are in control of your personal economy. Leave the government economy. Leave the country economy. You have the potential to determine the kind of result in your own personal economy. My own personal economy, that I'm in Nigeria, but I will never allow the government to determine my faith. I'm in Nigeria, but I will do everything I have with what God has given to me to create a lot of solutions with an existing platform that I can leverage on. I didn't create Amazon. I have all my books on Amazon. I make residual income. It's intellectual property. You can't do anything. I keep making money every time you go there. I've done it once, written the book. This book, if you don't buy now, they will buy on Amazon. The reality is that it's something I've done, but it's an intellectual property that keeps giving me money. What is that thing you can do that keep giving you residual income? Think about it. Stop procrastinating. Take action now and get on the global space, which is the internet.
Okay, this will deserve a standing ovation. Think about your own economy. Think about your own economy. What's your view about Unscripted? Can you just, please be ready seated to wrap it up. Finally, this time 1 minute, real 1 minute.
I think I told someone, and I think it's a new project for me, that we hardly see, we don't have knowledge bank in Nigeria. Digital knowledge bank. You see a lot of people outside the country interview the billionaires like Otedolas, like Dangote, and these are people that are outside the country, brought them on their platform, and interviewed them, and it's the interview that we see here and we consume in Nigeria. So there's a missing gap of having a digital knowledge bank that I log in and I can have access to billionaires and I try to listen to their storyline. I can have access to different people coming up and all of that. I think what Unscripted has done or is doing has done over the last 4 years and is still going to do is that you have access to valuable information. Loaded valuable information. It's like a digital bank. If only you can go and look at watch all of the series that has happened, I can tell you, you just lock up yourself in the next 2 weeks. Don't go everywhere or every middle of the night, just like I do. Middle of the night is when I do a lot of research. And then lock up yourself for 3 hours every day for the next 2 weeks. You'll be shocked when you get out of that room who you are going to become. And that knowledge bank you're looking for is an Unscripted platform. Just go look for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. So, we can do better for him this evening. I'm sure he has demystified so many things for some of us, if not all of us, and for those who are watching online too.